What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Fourth Eye, and I am back. The Ghetto Guru is here. Have no fear. Look, this video might be a little longer, so get you some popcorn, get your earbud. If you got a job, don't get caught. Um, but first off, we're gonna talk about sleep paralysis because a lot of people starting off, especially nowadays, if you're new, I'm pretty sure your method is probably trying to have an out of body through sleep paralysis. So we're going to talk about sleep paralysis, and maybe the information that I give will help you to succeed within your um, endeavors on learning how to have an out of body experience. But also know that you don't just have to do it through sleep paralysis. But since that's where we're going with it, that's where we're going with it. You know what I'm talking about? So, first off, um, for people who are trying to have it and they are not succeeding in having the out of body through sleep paralysis, I want to give you a little bit of information on how sleep paralysis works. And sleep paralysis is normal for those who don't think it's normal. It's normal. Our bodies go into sleep paralysis every night. I've said it in previous videos. Our bodies go into sleep paralysis every night so that we do not act out our dreams. But also understand this, that hold up, when you have a out of body, or when you have sleep paralysis, I drank some dang juice and that stuff got me. But when you have sleep paralysis, it's not the fact that you not succeeding in it. It's not that you're not succeeding at having the experience. Is that sometimes when it comes to having why people slip into sleep paralysis, because the body has been exhausted. The physical body was exhausted, and your body basically was like, "Look, I'm tired. I'm gonna go ahead and rest." Soon as you gave it the opportunity to say to for you to go sit down on that couch, close your eyes, like, let me rest my eyes for a little bit. As soon as you gave it the opportunity, your body was so overworked that it just said, let me go to sleep." Didn't even give you a chance to like for your mind to wander off and you go to sleep on a mental, like a spiritual, you know what I'm saying? Energetically or mentally, you didn't fall asleep before your body fell asleep. That's why I say it's always good to implement stretching and working out into your daily routine, if not daily routine, but 5 days out the week, 3 days out the week. Do some light workout, push ups, sit ups, whatever you do, run. If you work, you know what I'm saying, you working every once in a while, hit some push ups, do something, do some squats. You know what I'm saying? You don't need weights to hit squats. You do weightless squats. Just do that because you want your body to start working. Now, once you, like, say if as you start working out today, you already know what's about to happen. Your muscles are gonna break down. You're gonna get sore as hell. You're gonna be stiff, all that stuff. So it might be a little difficult for your body to fully relax. But if you start to implement little things such as working out and things of that nature, it will help for you to get to a point where your body um, it, it, it it gets tired. Your physical body. Now, and the reason I say that is because you got some people that might try to stay up for days. They might try to so that they can get tired, because there's a misconception that if you will have an out of body when you're super tired. Now, why it's a misconception is not all the way wrong, because that can happen. But in most cases, when you're super drained, tired, mentally and physically, a lot of times you're gonna fall asleep and you probably won't even remember your dreams because you're not mentally there and you're not physically there. You physically, that would have helped you out, but mentally, when you mentally drained, and crazy part is I didn't know you could be mentally drained until I went to the oil field and I became a supervisor, and I started having to do all this extra stuff, being a manager, doing all this extra stuff, emails and all these things. It's like you get mentally drained and you're like, damn. And sometimes when you're mentally drained, when you try to have an out of body, when you're mentally drained, your mind is going to go into like what's that shit? Um on the movies when they be going to another planet, is it stasis? It's almost like you're going to a state like that where you don't even remember your dream, but you out there exploring. You're doing things, but it's like you like, nah, I'm not about to. Mm-mm. I need rest. It's almost like your body is saying, look, you don't need to be remembering nothing today. You need to recover because that's what sleep is for. Like when we go to sleep, our bodies recover. So you have to take into account everything that goes on with the body. A lot of times people do not understand that their body is under stress. So it's like they'll be like mentally they'll be like, no, I'm good. But physically their body is stressed out. But a lot of times we don't even know when our body's stressed out because we don't pay attention. We're not aware. You think that you're not stressed out, but then you got back problem, like why my back hurt or your knee hurt, why my knee hurting, and this and that, things of that nature. And those are signs in a lot of cases that your body is under stress because it's doing something, it's trying to work out something, and you're not picking it up. You're not picking it up, and you're not figuring it out. But it's like, let me try to give you a little sign or something. Because hold on, real quick, I got to text me. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. But this video gonna be long, so don't worry about it. But yeah, so when you're thinking about whatever school, whatever I say school, but technically whatever school you in, and you learning how to have these out of bodies and all that stuff, take into consideration your stress levels. If you're working out, do you have high blood pressure? Do you have certain things? Now, I'm not saying that any of these things will stop you from having an out of body. I'm not saying any of these things will stop you from having an out of body, but they could hinder you from having an experience if you're trying to will yourself out your body. It's been plenty times, even to this day. Now, mind you, I don't try to have out of bodies willingly. I don't try to make myself come out. I don't force myself out, and that's not because something's wrong with doing so. I just like doing it the way I do it. So that's how I do it. If I get to a point where I like now, mind you, I still do when I lay down and go to sleep. If when I'm laying down, I meditate every night, but I don't meditate to have an out of body. I meditate to relieve stress. I meditate just to kind of relax after a long day. And if while I'm meditating, doing so, if I get the signs, if I feel the sensations and I feel the signs that I'm going to have an out of body, I do so. But if I don't, I just try to fall asleep because to be honest with you, I be liking them regular dreams. The out of bodies is cool and I be having some great out of body experiences, but I be liking to see the regular dreams too because the regular dreams show you a lot about your subconscious and things that you might have forgot. Um, but take into consideration your diet, if you exercise, if you don't exercise, um, why you can't seem to slip into that sleep paralysis state because our bodies are very we like this body is it's a container. So almost just like what we say, like the earth or the magnetic field, you have an energy field that's around you, but you're also this aspect that's outside of yourself at all times. So there's a part of you that's outside exploring right now. Me talking to you right now on this camera, and there's a version of myself doing something totally different right now. And then you got this the how can you say how do I say this without it sounding religious? You know, I ain't trying to sound religious, but say for instance you created a fractal of yourself to experience a life on this planet. We ain't gonna talk about none of the other lives or none of the other aspects of yourself. We just gonna talk about this aspect and where you come from and how you brought yourself into this physical body. Now, say you brought yourself into this physical body. Now, once you got into this physical body, it had to be something that was able to contain your soul or your spirit, or however you want to deem it as. But you had to be contained. But what's being contained is not the fullness of who you are. There's you are way more than what you are right now within this physical body. That's why, like, so for instance, when people develop these certain abilities and all these things, that's it's almost like opening up. how can I say this? Like say you had a damn hole in the top of your head with a water hose on top of it, and you like, I need a little more energy. So you open it up. Now you let more of your energy come in, flowing in. But throughout the days we get drained. Throughout the day we dealing with so many things on a daily basis that we have to refill. That's what meditation is good for. You have to, revitalize that energy. So yeah, it's like you developing these gifts. It comes with the training, and you basically just opening up. Once you actually got the time to sit and do these things and meditate and practice certain things, it's like opening up that valve, and more of your energy, more of your true essence is coming back. I truly believe that once, if we can get to a point where I don't think you can't really exist in this physical body as the fullness of who you truly are, because I feel like you will basically uh, transcend. You will transcend because this body will not be able to contain that type of energy that you truly are. Um, and a lot of people don't know the fullness of the shit. I probably don't even really recognize the fullness of the who I truly am. You know what I'm saying? So when we having these, and you don't have to have an out of body through sleep paralysis all the time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, I mean, it will. It's when you laying down. Now I can't say this for people who do it willingly, because that might be the easiest method. But I don't know. It's kind of weird. I guess that's for the beginning. Like when you're doing it in the beginning, you want to recognize when you're in sleep paralysis. But for the most part, say for instance, if you sleep, that damn juice, never drinking that shit again. But you wake up. Say you wake up, your body vibrating. You in sleep paralysis, but you get to a point where you'll wake up and your body might be vibrating. You be like, okay, I'm about to I can have out of body. So you just levitate out your body. It becomes second nature. Boom, you'll just be able to leave your body. Some people, when they when they wake up and they feel that vibrational state, they try to move their physical body so they actually recognize that, okay, I'm in sleep paralysis. Me personally, if I wake up and my body's vibrating, I already know I'm in sleep paralysis. There's no need for me to try to move my physical body, so I'm just gonna exit. It's not gonna be me sitting there like, mm. And to be honest with you, I don't even try to see what's in front of me. Like if something's around me, even if I feel it, if I feel something's around me, I don't really try to sit and look. If I feel the sensation, I exit right then. I feel the sensation. Okay, I can have out of body. All right, let me get up out of here. That's how easy it will become, because you will realize how it's not that deep. It's not as deep because the fact that we all do it anyway. You're only really trying to learn how to remember. You're only learning how to recall and be aware. It's really just coming back to remembrance. Because I don't feel like we was like, maybe we wasn't supposed to remember this stuff, but at the same time, we knew when we was going to wake up. You know what I'm saying? We knew when we was going to get to this stage where we was like, you know what, I want to know a little more. You know what I'm saying? So everything, everything is we chose this. We chose it. And to be honest, when I go back into how I got into out of body experiences and all that stuff, I knew about out of body experiences before I was a teenager, but I didn't know it to the extreme as how I knew it after once I had the full on conscious experience. I heard about it on a show. Um, what's that show? It was called Ripley's Believe It or Not, I believe. It was something about that factor fiction or some shit like that. And they had an episode, and it was this lady. She said that every night she would dream of going to this house, and when she would go to this house, she would just like she loved that house, and she just like she keep going there every night. And eventually, I guess it's been a long time, so I might be not telling the fullness of it, but I guess they was driving her and her husband driving, And she looked at this house and she said, "Hold up, that look like the house in my dream." And she told her husband to stop. And the house was like up for sale or something like that. And so he stopped and they got to go inside the house and look inside the house. And she was telling her husband, like, this is the house that I've been dreaming about. Like, this is the house. And the person that owned the house, that lived in the house, when they seen the lady, they said, "You the woman that's been haunting my house." And that was so fascinating to me because I was like, what? And back then as a kid with that show Fact or Fiction, you gotta guess. Is this real or is this fake? I'm like, they gotta be fake. That's fake. And they was like, nah, that was true. I was like, what? So she was like a ghost. So that's why when I had my first conscious out of body where I felt myself leaving my body, I thought that I was a ghost because the way that they described it in that show. And Sylvia Brown used to be on the Montel Williams show, and she used to get on there and she was telling this lady about her experience with sleep paralysis, and the lady was like, "I'd be so afraid and this and that. I feel the vibrations and all this stuff, and I just so terrified." And she was like, "Ah, it's nothing. You just was having an out of body experience, and you came back consciously before you integrate it fully. You just need to pray, tell your spirit guides this and this and that." And I was just sitting there fascinating. So it was like fascinating to me. So I was just like, okay. So that's kind of where I was introduced to the term out of body experience. I wasn't so when I had my first one, I said once I did it and I came back and I woke up and I said, "Oh shit, I had an out of body." That's the only reason I knew what I had because of what I've seen on TV and stuff. And those episodes, it was those. But after that, I heard nobody talk about out of body experiences in that nature until I got on YouTube. So yeah, a lot of the experiences in the beginning would not always be that way. And to be honest, even in the beginning, you don't have to just focus on having an out of body experience through sleep paralysis. You can have them within the dreams, like I told you, the fallback method in the dream. Um, you could you it's there's different ways in the dreams. Now there's other ways that you can have out of body experiences within the dream that I don't know if it's hard because everybody's different. But I think I talked about it a little bit in a previous video. But just like the fallback method, find something tall when you realize you're dreaming, fall backwards. Boom. Like, what I'm saying? Get on top of something high and jump off. Boom. Fall backwards though. But and close your eyes. Close your eyes and fall backwards. Other methods, you can just close your eyes and envision a portal within your mind's eye. This is very simple, at least to me it is. But it's easier if you do it like it say for instance. Now this sounds crazy, but this is just something that I used to do. I would like get on top of a building and I would close my eyes and I would just dive off that sucker. And the reason I would do that is because the reason I would do like the falling back and the jumping off the building is because of how real it feels. I know that it's going to shock me or scare me in a little bit. Like it's going to scare me a little bit, which is going to make me want to wake up. So that's why I would do it because I knew once I realized that that was making me wake up in the bed in the vibrational state or in sleep paralysis, I was like, oh, that's the key right there. Boom. So I would once I learned the portal, that would just take you directly to another place. Now you can when you're doing that portal, if you can think of a place that you want to go, or even say it in your mind, like take me to my mother's house, take me to my mother's house. While the portal is going, it might sometimes it'll take you where you want to go, and sometimes you'll be saying that shit, and you'll go somewhere and you'll be like, "This is not my mother's house. What is this? Where am I?" You'll be somewhere totally different. So, and that's just based off of how strong is your willpower of being able to wield yourself somewhere that you thinking in your mind because it takes focus. It really takes you being able to really focus on whatever you're saying and allowing yourself to go there and still have that on your mind. So going through that vortex, that portal, Sometimes it could take a long time, and if you get distracted, you'll wake up. So you have to learn how to focus. So even when I'm saying that, you have to learn how to focus. Just not don't just learn how to focus when you're in an out of body state. Learn how to focus in your physical reality. Learn how to be aware in your physical reality. Exercise, yoga, whatever you do it, do it. Meditate. If you don't have a job, find something to occupy your time to move around and maneuver, to become to train your muscles. Like if it's a part of your muscle, like say for instance, if you meditating and your legs you tend to always focus right back on your legs or your lower back or this and that. That's a part of your body you might need to start actually exercising. Start exercising that part of your body, strengthen it so that it'll know when to know to be strong and know to when to relax. I'm up here messing up my words because now cause I'm trying to make it simple. Um, but the the out of body state, having the out of body is not as hard. A lot of y'all that had out of body experiences, y'all just don't know it because you're not going to. A lot of y'all are not going to accept the fact that you had an out of body until you actually see yourself laying in the bed because that's like your confirmation. Even though you had the experience and it felt real, you did all this, you did XYZ, and you came back and you felt like that felt real. You still in your mind like I don't know if that was an out of body. So many people do that. They'll say I felt myself float out the room, fly through the clouds, but because they didn't experience sleep paralysis, they don't know they had an out of body. I'm here to tell you, you had an out of body, and in most cases, you've had an out of body. You just thought it was a dream. And who's to say? Look, dream, dream, dream. Hey, look, we say stuff is dreams all the time. A lot of times when I be talking to people that I know they don't understand what an out of body is. I'll tell them like, yeah, I had this dream, just to see how they respond to it. And I know that they don't know what I'm talking about as far as out of bodies because when I said it was a dream, if somebody said that to me, like I had this dream that so and so and so and so, I'm like, that wasn't a dream. That was not a dream. But that ain't how everybody is. You know, some people cannot accept the fact of spiritual things of that nature. Which you get people that start saying like, "Oh, you a spiritual person. You a spiritual. You a part of the spiritual community. You part of the woo woo, the woo woo people." And that's that. Look, there's everything is spiritual. The fact that I'm on here talking to a person, talking to y'all, and I'm gonna upload this video. Everything is spiritual. Like, let's stop that narrative. Oh, that's a spiritual person. You're a spiritual person just because you're living. Everything is spiritual. So everybody can have out of bodies. It's not something that's like only that's only for a select special group of people that can have out of body experiences. And stop being so dang technical. Oh, you say you have an out of body, so you should be able to read what's on in my wallet. You should be able to see what's in my house. Why would you want me to come to your house? Now, if now, and I ain't like look, y'all groups like the groups of people who want to do that. That's fucking fine. But I don't want you coming to my house. I don't want you leaving your body and trying to come to my house. No, come to my house, and if I'm out my body, we fighting. We fight. There's gonna be issues, but we're gonna get into these beings, and hopefully I can remember what the hell I wanted to talk about when it came to these beings, because I did talk about it before on the last video, I think. Um, but I have to re-talk about it because when it comes to these beings, we how can I say? I don't want people to think that that they every time they encounter something negative that is, or they not even negative, they encounter something they got to be like, oh my god, it's negative. No, don't think it's negative right off the bat. You got to have a neutral energy towards it. Be neutral. Don't think nothing. I know that sounds hard if you're looking at something that look demonic, and you be like, "How can I think neutral in this?" Because I'm telling you, you can be like, "Hey, let me holler at you real fast. Come over here, let me talk to you." And they will, that little scary shit that they was doing, that little trying to be creepy, they'd be like, and start talking to you normal, weird as shit. But that's how it is. But you have to be aware, you know. And these beings is like sometimes we, like, I know for me, I probably hindered myself for a lot of years when it comes to encountering um, beings or even my spirit guides, things of that nature. I've probably hindered myself from meeting them because the way that I behave when I have the out of body experience, when I meet things that I didn't understand, I'm whipping ass. That's what I was doing. So by way of me doing that, it's like makes me unapproachable. You know what I'm saying? It makes me like we got to find a different type of way to reach him, or we not even talking to him until he gets right. You know what I'm saying? Until he stops being so defensive and all these things. Now, I don't know. Like, we talk about aliens and all that stuff, and I tell y'all in some of my videos how I don't really trust ETs or whatever, aliens and all that stuff. I seen a video yesterday, and the dude was talking about how he was talking about his experience. He was saying he got abducted, but in the beginning, when he was talking about it, all I could think was, no, you was having like past life experiences. So, like, that's what I was hearing. He was talking about he was a woman in one, he was this and he was that and he was this. But then he reached this point where he wanted to get outside, and I was talking to y'all about how they will create this, like, I don't know if you consider it dimensional space. It's like a dimensional space. They will create it around you, and you will be in it, and you'll be trying to figure out how the hell do I get out of here. You be trying to find doors. This is what he was doing. So I'm like, oh, he's experienced what I've experienced. So he's trying to get out. He said he asked a lady like, how you get out the front door? No, he asked a family member, and they like, he like, who house is this? And they like, this is your house. And he like, well, where the damn front door at? So he goes to the front door, and once he opens the front door, all he see is like static. Like, I think he said static. He said, so he was like, should he go through it? Should he not? Then he said he went through it. When he went through it, he was laying on a bed with these ETs or whatever you want to call them, other dimensional beings, all standing over him. Electrical, blue, like blue eyes or whatever. Now, I can't say everything he said in that experience, but this is his experience, and I don't want to butcher it too much. But he was saying that he was like, when he woke up, he was like, he said that he's very aware of his body, and this is something that hit home with me. He said he's very aware of his body, so he was like, he noticed that he had a mole on his hand when he woke up, and when he said that, I was like, damn, that's crazy because that happened to me. I don't know if y'all see that. I'm looking at my hand one day, and I'm like, I ain't never seen that on my hand. I thought it was some dirt, and I'm trying to scratch it off. But when he showed his hand, same hand, left hand, and I'm like, that's crazy as hell. That had me looking at my other hand like, hold up, like, where the hell did that come from? But I didn't had the experience. Like I told y'all, well, y'all probably don't remember, or I maybe didn't talk about it. But in one experience where I woke up and I was laying on the bed, and they tried to put a green fluid in my arm. When I came out my body and I floated up to the clouds, and when I came back down, when I started fading out, like I was about to wake up, I woke up on a metal uh, bed in a doctor's office. Looked like a doctor's office, but I didn't see extraterrestrials or different beings. These look like humans with scrubs on and their face covered up and stuff. But they had a syringe with green fluid in it, and they tried to put it in my arm, and I'm strapped down on this table. Now, mind you, I know I just left my body, so as you know, I'm freaking out a little bit because I'm like, hold up, what the fuck? What the hell going on? Why I can't get up? And they putting that fluid in my arm. The fluid went in my arm. I look at it, and then when they took the needle out, I started seeing the fluid like dripping back out the hole where they stuck me at. It started dripping out, and the person said, "It's not staying in his body." And I was like, "Hmm." When he said that, that's when I got like freaked out, like, "Oh hell no, I need to get out of here." And that's why I like just busted out of everything, started throwing people across the room, ran out the building. It was people whooping each other's ass outside. It was other people going in. It was like a line of people going in there, and they was giving them this shot. And somebody said they having a war somewhere with whoop. This is a whole other story. I think I talked about it already, but that was strange to me when I heard this experience, and I'm like, damn. I wonder was I being fucked with? You know what I'm saying? Because I thought about that a lot of times. It's a lot of experiences that I had. I'd be like, did I get abducted? Because why did they want me to see certain things? It's like, why would you want me to be stuck in a room? Especially if you know I'm hostile. I'm hostile in the motherfucker. You stick me in a room with one person, eventually I'm gonna start to realize I can't get out this room. And eventually, because I can't get out this room and there's one person that's in here, you're the problem. You're the reason. Figured it like we finna fight. Something about to happen. Like why stick me in a room when you know I'm gonna be like a pit bull in the corner? But I got a lot better though. I'm a lot better. But these beings, they will create scenarios, but at the same time, even when you and this is why it gets so deep when it comes to like one video will not do it. Like it will not give you all the info that you need as far as like when it comes to me, because like I talked to y'all about the negative entities that you can experience, the negative spirits, all that stuff. But also, you are also going through certain tests all the time. And not every time that you see something that's negative, it's a thought projection or it's something that was really going to harm you. Sometimes you're just being put through a test. And depending upon how you do, depending upon the things that you do on that in that test, is gonna you're either gonna level up or you're gonna have to do it again. You're gonna have to go through something else that's gonna have to get you over whatever fear that is that you're dealing with. So you might experience something that makes you react, that makes you have to defend yourself, or that makes you have to say, "Look, I'm not." Because at certain points, you defending yourself will level you up, but then at a certain point, you defending yourself is only feeding whatever is trying to attack you. So at some point, you have to realize, I don't really have to fight. I could say walk away from me. I can look at them and like if I have enough mental strength, I can look at another being and in my mind imagine them like turning into dust and but that's not what most of the time when that happens, those are thought projections. Those are something that's something that you made, that you created with your mind. Now with the other ones that's not, you can do the same thing, but it'll be a little more difficult to do so because they're not the same as something that you created. They kind of got their own thing going. So they can create things that can, you know what I'm saying? And you can create things. Sometimes with those situations, you have to actually fight. Now, you can still get rid of them. Theirs is a little bit more dramatic, but you can still get rid of them pretty easy as well. And most of the time, you won't have to fight them like that because they just go away. Once they realize you're not afraid, they're going to be like, let me go. Let's get out of here. Um, I'm sorry, I keep checking it because I'm trying to check the time. Um, but yeah, when it comes to these out of bodies, it's so much that you can do, and it's so much that if you start to really pay attention to who you are, how you are, what you are, it'll become more easy for you. And once you become more aware, not just of the out of bodies, but of this physical reality, it will be a lot more easier for you as well. Um, but don't just see the thing. Like, let's get back onto the stress thing because some of y'all don't realize even that by you thinking about, oh, I haven't had experience yet. I haven't did. You're stressing yourself out just by thinking about it like that too much. I haven't had. That's why most time when people have an experience, it be the time when they're not even trying because they're not stressing it. They're not thinking about it constantly on their mind like I'm gonna have out of body. Now, mind you, reading material, watching videos about it, that helps because it keeps it within your subconscious. But when you're thinking about it with an emotion attached to it, that can hinder it because your emotion, if the emotion that's attached to it is like, man, I don't know, why I ain't having them? Everybody having them and I ain't having them. It's self doubt. It's a negative emotion. It's not a positive emotion about the situation. Once you get to a point where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna keep trying. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, I'm gonna just keep trying. Eventually, it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. It's nothing wrong with it not working because what you're doing to even try to get it to happen is helping you as well. The meditation, all those things. Now, I don't listen to like I try to make some I did make some binaural beats, but I don't really listen to binaural beats. I don't really listen to things to make me have out of body experiences. I try, but they don't really work for me. Um, and I think it's because how I train myself. You know what I'm saying? When I was in Houston, there used to be a train that used to go by the house. So when I used to have out of bodies, especially the ones where I used to go through the portal, because once you start going through that portal, you can hear everything that's happening in the physical. So it's like that will distract you. So when it came to meditation, I would listen to the train when it would pass by because it was so distracting to me. I would meditate and listen to the train going by, like the and they blowing that loud ass horn. So, and I would be hearing kids in the house and running around and everybody talking. So, when I realized, even when I would meditate or I would listen, like say I'm listening to some music or something, when I would go through the portal or I would be leaving my body, my senses were high, like the hearing and all that stuff was high as hell. So I was like, the music ain't stopping it from distracting me. So I need to learn how to do this while being distracted. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to meditate through the distractions or have the out of body experience through the distractions, through the distractions. But so that's what I did. When I would meditate, I would listen to the train. I would listen to whoever's talking. I would listen to the people pulling up at the house at the neighbor's house. That's how good the hearing be getting once you start getting deep in your meditation. You'll be hearing everything outside. They honking the horn. This person's over here. Whoop, 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 whoop. It's like I'm listening to everything, and that was helping me, and it also still helps me to this day because I hear so much noise and it doesn't distract me. I can still focus. So with that being said, I think I touched on enough about. Hold up, I gotta crack my. Ooh, yeah. You gotta keep your body limber. No, limber till December. Nah, playing, but yeah. Hopefully, the when it comes to the sleep paralysis and all those things, hopefully I gave you some information that you could use and maybe you could abuse, and then you'll go out your body, and then you'll get misused. Nah, just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm stupid. Um, but hopefully, the information was some good information. Try to stay positive though while you doing this stuff. I can't tell y'all like I know a lot of people going through classes and they taking the classes, the courses. I don't want to. I say implement certain things within that, but if whatever you implementing, long as it does not go against what you're being taught, I say implement it. But if it goes against what you're being taught, stick with the program and try to stick with the program. You know what I'm saying? And because it works. It works. You just gotta stick with it. Focus on it. Don't stress about it. You know what I'm saying? Because There's a lot on the other side. There's a lot in these other dimensions that you ain't seen yet. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. You're gonna see some of this stuff. You know what I mean? When you go into a 3D dimension, say a 3D, like a look like a virtual reality dimension, you're gonna be like, this is a dream. No, you just left your body. It's a lot of shit that you ain't seen that you're gonna see on the other side. And I know y'all be like, why y'all be holding back when cause I know I look at some other people's videos that talk about out of bodies and I know they holding back. And the reason I know why they holding back is because I know I'll be holding back on certain experiences. But it's going to come a time where I'm going to talk about it. I don't know if y'all know this. I kind of trickle things in and trickle things out. But there's a time and place for everything. I'm not look. I don't have no problem talking about the things that I'm holding back from talking about. It's just timing. You know what I'm saying? It's timing. And I know I see some people's videos and I be like, I know you know more. I know you holding back because we don't want to talk about things that seem negative to people because we understand that people are at a certain level and they cannot take hearing negative things and they feel like that's harmful to their experience. But look, that's not I can't be like look, I'll be a bad person if I told you that there was nothing on the other side that was negative. That when you go out there, you're gonna only experience bliss. You're never going to see anything that is negative. I would be stupid and a liar and a deceitful human being if I sat there and told you that. Like I would be a horrible person. And uh, you being afraid is not going to help you. If you're afraid to hear a story about something that's true to somebody that they experience that might be negative, you might not want to leave your body because you're too afraid. You know what I'm saying? You got to face it. You're going to face it. No matter what, you're going to face it. Whether it be in this life, the next life, or when you 60 years old. You're going to have to face it. When you pass away and transition to the next, you're going to have to face it regardless. So why not get over the fear now so that you don't have to get over it in the moment when it's the last moment that you can, oh my God, no. Well, now you're somewhere in a low dimension sitting there confused. Did I die? I think I died. I, I think maybe, no, I didn't die. I just need to wake up. I'm dreaming. No, you're dead. No, you're not dead. But you not in the physical. You're over here in limbo. Limbo laddie. You in club limbo. You up here just kicking it with a bunch of dead eyed people. They just walking around in mug just confused. Don't y'all get don't get weirded out about that underworld that the hell type thing because technically this physical reality is damn near like just another part of hell. This is another part. It's just higher on higher. Let's say that when you come out your body and you enter into a realm that looks like this realm, some of those times when you I'm not gonna say all the time because I don't know everything, but sometimes when you in that realm, it looks like this realm. It got houses, businesses, um, all kind of shit. People out there acting a fool. They they I don't know if they living out memories of shit that they did. People getting their ass whooped. People getting carjacked. All kind of stuff. It's people walking around like it's normal, like they don't see shit going on. It's people just sitting on the side of buildings. It's people fighting in the middle of the street. It's people like doing shooting at each other. It's all kinds of things in that place, and there's levels to it. So you might leave your body and you might go into a place that mirrors this, and you be out there and you be like, seems a little chaotic out here. You're in a that we I'm saying hell, but let's just be it's not hell like what you would think, but it's like a form of it because it's almost like torture. You're sitting in this place and you're reliving all the fucked up decisions you made because you could not understand. You got people out there that I was supposed to go to hell. I was supposed to go where the they see a light, they get scared. They don't they see something that look angelic, they get scared. Like they don't even know how to like it's deep. Um, but there's also the ones that's not that bad. You got these places. I call them like they almost like people that's being I ain't gonna say just born on this reality because it could be multiple places, but it's almost like train stops. But it's not a train stop. But it's almost it's if somebody else seen this, say it in the comments or make a video about it or something. But it's like a place. It's almost like you'll be in this house, and it's like a regular house, but it's like a bunch of different souls there, and they know that they leaving. They going somewhere. They're going to be born. They know it, and they all waiting. And some of them that's there are not going. They just sending them off. Like, hey, it's like a soul group, a family, like all right, you going, this is what, and what picks you up is not a vehicle. It's almost just like an energy. It's almost like an energy current. And I don't know how to make that make more sense than that. But it's like an energy current and they just go, they know where they're going. You can only go where you're gonna go. You can only go where your energy takes you, or whatever you decided, wherever you decided to go. But there's these waiting rooms, like waiting areas like that. Um, but you think about these other dimensions. These other dimensions, it varies from different things. Like you never know what you might experience when you leave your body. So you don't have to rush it. You know what I'm saying? You could see something that's far more worse than what I've ever seen because you might be different. I mean, you are different, obviously, but you've been through different things. So something else might be what you've been holding on to forever might show up for you, and you be like, oh my God, no, huh. Get over it. I ain't got no comments. That's why I keep licking my lips so y'all don't say nothing about that. All right, yeah, all right now. But yeah, I be really wanting to dive into the conversations about the lower realms and all that stuff. But I also know that I know that it's scary to some people. But y'all gonna have to get over that shit. Really. To be honest with you, you gotta get over that shit. Just like I gotta get over trusting ETs. Like I don't trust ETs. I don't trust these beings that be coming up. But I gotta get over that and I gotta be more how do I say this? Because I don't want to be vulnerable, like too vulnerable, but I gotta be more balanced in my reactions and when I'm meeting something or a being or whatever. I have to be more mindful and stop getting on it. But I also, you know what I'm saying, I do be peeping. Like once I start getting a weird feeling, I sit back and I just observe and I watch them. And when they notice I see them, how they behave after that determines how I'm going to react. So if they start behaving weird and they start acting either angry or start saying slick things out the mouth or out the mind, it's about to be a problem, dog. We about to have some issues. I'm telling you, I've experienced so much shit that I barely talk about some. Like I only think I scratched the surface on the experiences that I talked about, but a lot of experiences are hard to explain, and some experiences I would probably not talk about because they're too personal. Get me? Like like the one I had that wasn't personal, but you have weird experiences like the one I had where I was the son of this huge like God type being. How that make sense? I mean, I said how that make sense, but I'm having an out of body experience, but I'm in the body of a small but giant baby, and my father is this big old blue deity, and he killed my mother. He killed my mother, and I thought he was trying to kill me. So I like stayed running and running away. Now I'm talking about I had this experience, and I was like being born, or I was like going into other dimensions as I got older and older. And the siblings of this God that was I felt was chasing me, trying to kill me, these siblings kept following me everywhere I went. Everywhere I went, they would follow me. They would be in different bodies, different forms, but they followed me until we finally it like came like I think this was like the last part of it. It was a sister, it was two sisters and a brother that was there. And they were saying like how they been trying to watch over me, this and that, but I ran away and this and that. It wasn't like that. He was trying to get me because the I don't know if the lady was actually my mother, but eventually that when I was the baby version of myself, they laid me on the side of a mountain on these like it wasn't like they was like steps, but they laid me on the side of a mountain with these silk these it's like a silk like rug that was laid on the ground. They just laid me on that motherfucker. And cause she was trying to hide me and shit, and then he killed her. Then they tried to hide me, and then it was like, boom. I'm seeing this motherfucker turn from a giant to a normal man, and but I'm little. I'm scared. Then next you know, I'm talking to the siblings, and I'm noticing that I was noticing them like following me, but it was like I just was like, who is that? Like, and like I'm your sister, I'm your brother. We've been looking for you. We've been trying to get you to come back. This and this and this and that. That's the weirdest shit you can ever experience. And this, I was experiencing this for a couple days. Every time I would leave my body, I would either be in another dimension, and I would see those siblings. But a lot of the times when I would see them, they wouldn't speak to me. They was like, it was like they was in the vicinity, and I knew they was watching me, but they wouldn't talk to me. So that was weird. Um, you will experience past lives, present lives. I said present lives. You will experience past lives, possible futures, um, parallel realities that you possibly live in right now. You might even experience yourself as a woman. I've experienced myself as a woman, which was quite shocking. Glad it wasn't a sexual experience. Just saying, fuck all that. Like, I'd have been like, fuck it, nah, I don't want to. He would have been his ass whooped in that motherfucker. But you will experience so many different things. So it's like, don't be impatient. You trying to go to the ice wall, all that stuff. I know it. You'll get to see it because it's on your mind. You want to see it, so you're gonna see it. And you're also gonna see some of them loved ones that you have. You're gonna see some people that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I was in a reality where everybody was that had both genders. That was the strangest shit ever to me. Because even though everybody had the only reason I knew that they had the same gender because they told me. But it was weird because the males it looked like males and females, but they all had like both genders. I don't know how that makes like it just that was weird to me. It's like that looks like what we would look at and say that's a woman, but nope, that woman has a ping ping and a zing zing and a pling pling. Got both of them things, and I'm like, that is crazy. Glad I'm not here. Whoa, wake up, wake up now. But The way that the houses were structured and the way that the wherever I was, the city, the way it looked was so fascinating. And they rode these bicycle cars that was kind of strange. They didn't have a lot of nature. It was mostly like concrete everywhere. And the houses was almost like how you would see if you ever been to DC, how the neighborhoods are, where you got those brownstones and shit. Like the it kind of had that type of vibe, but different, way different. And they had they would like they was very I wouldn't say they worked out a lot, but they had a very stocky build. All of them, they had like this stocky build, but they looked like us. They didn't look like aliens. They looked like humans. Now, as far as the both gender things come about, like I didn't ask nobody to prove it to me because I didn't want to see that. Now, uh, possibly there was a life that I was living at one point, and I had both of them things. Like, let me make myself pregnant today. No, but maybe there was a past life or something. Maybe there was a parallel reality life or something. You never know what you might see. You'll be watching a movie in that thing, and you'll be like, "This is a nice movie." Wake up and be like, "I've never seen that before." What the fuck? I could, but the thing I wish I could retain it, like every bit of it, but I went through a phase, and if you continue to have out of body experiences, you'll probably go through this phase as well eventually. Um, I was having out of body experiences that was like bringing up, I was experiencing things that seemed like they happened in real life, but they didn't happen in. When I say in real life, I'm talking about this life that I'm living right now, me talking to you right now. There would be memories that were so close to this reality that I would wake up and be like, I would be having to ask myself, like, did that happen? Am I tripping? What the like? I'm having these. It was like false memories, but they not false memories. That's just a different version of you living a life that's similar. But some of the details are so closely related that when you wake up, you'll be like, that happened because it did happen. But the problem is being able to distinguish between the two realities. And that's why I think some people have schizophrenia, is because they cannot distinguish which life they're seeing. So they might be looking at you and saying, "No, I seen you the other day, and the whole time you ain't never been where they was at. Now you was over there at that house, and I remember because they 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 their mind is fractured. They lost in parallels. It's like they see in parallel realities all the time. It's like it's merged. So the person who's that you're looking at as psychotic, that's saying, "Oh, I seen you," they seen you, but they seen a version of you that you don't even be seeing. So you're like, "I seen you the other day." Oh yeah, you. No, you didn't see me, but you saw me. Well, okay, it's fine. But yeah, that's why I tell people this stuff is not for the this is not something that you come into to play around with. Like, I'm gonna just do what I want to do, and I'm gonna just have I'm gonna do with whoop whoop astro section down everything. I'm gonna be whoop 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 whoop. There's gonna be consequences. Now the consequences is not like somebody gonna come and whip your ass up. You're gonna get drugged down to the pits of the bottom of the seas of hell. Now the consequences might be you might lose your motherfucking mind. The consequences might be once you leave this, you're gonna have to experience everything you've done. You know what I'm saying? Whether that be good or bad. And let's get on that too. Hold on, let me see how much time I got because oh damn. I'm gonna just get on this last topic, I think. Um damn, what was I about to say? This last topic about the is it past lives I was talking about? Past lives And we talked about the going through the word. Like I'm going off the top of my head. I like to go off the top of my head. I don't like to really write notes and all that stuff. But yeah. So I was just going along with the flow. So hopefully, if I can't remember what the hell I was about to say, I'm gonna just have to put this in another video because this is already at an hour. I think this is the first time I done did a video like this for this long. But I'm gonna try to think of what the hell I was about to say before I get the hell up out of here. But yeah, but just so y'all know, hopefully in this video I've hit some points. Take your time. That's one of my main points. Take your time. Take your time. Even if you start having the experiences, take your time. Don't be impatient. Don't be, I gotta see this. I gotta go to heaven. I gotta go to this. You wanna go to heaven? I know everybody wanna go see heaven. Everybody wanna see some angels. Everybody wanna see some beautiful things. But there's some things out there you don't wanna see. And so take your time so that maybe through your class with whomever you may be under, um, that you may be getting taught by, hopefully throughout whatever they teaching you, you won't have to experience what we've experienced, if you know what I mean. Feel me? And if you do experience, you know what to do. You know, that's the whole end game. Remembrance, knowing who you are and doing what you gotta do to do what you gotta do. You know what I'm talking about? So don't be one of these people out here that's like trying to just go out there and you want to be because you want to have out of body so that you can be the master. You know what I'm saying? You want to feel like you're above every. Don't go in it with that mindset of just trying to be better than the next person that has out of bodies. Like I even have more out of bodies than this person. I know more than this person. It's not about that because who gives a fuck? Uh, honestly, who gives a fuck? Oh, this person know more than me. That's a great fucking thing. Now I ain't got to do the extra research that I was gonna have to do at first. Now I can listen to what the fuck he just told me. Okay, that's what it's called. Duly noted. Duly fucking noted. That's what it's called. Trust me, I've been having out of body since I was young, and it's a lot of content creators on YouTube right now that makes videos that I know haven't been having out of bodies as long as me, but their information is good. And I be sitting thinking, I might not take notes, but mentally I be like, "Hmm, that's interesting." Or like, is that what they call it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's things that I still be like, because all the time, information, it like changes, but it changes because of terminologies and sayings and this and this and that. So things that people saying right now, they wasn't saying back then. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the lingo and a lot of the way that people say things is like I don't be knowing that shit a lot of times. I be like, what does that even mean? But then when I listen, I be like, okay, that okay, they talking about this. Okay, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So you never you never experience so much that you can't learn from somebody else. And quite frankly, you do yourself a disservice when you limit your information to only those who you deem as well, I ain't gonna say that you deem as knowledgeable because you have to deem them as some sort of knowledgeable in order for you to listen to them. But you do yourself a disservice if you're not listening to somebody due to some type of personal some type of personal reason. I don't like the way that guy talks. I don't I don't like that he charges this amount of money. I don't. It's like who gives a damn? Just listen. Just listen because you might get the information. You might be able to take this to a whole nother level. And when you start doing the videos and you start making the courses and all that stuff, you can now not charge the people that's following you. You know what I'm saying? Never get upset about somebody's personal what they do because if I put a course on here and you pay for it, all I did was put the course on here. It took you to say, I want to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? It took me to say, hey, I want to make one. Now, I don't know if I will ever make one, but if I do, I'm probably gonna charge. Shit, broke as I am, nah, I'm playing, but for real, hey, if I'm gonna take time, if I have to do calls and all this stuff, I gotta charge because I barely got time to do this that I'm doing right now. So I would have to charge. Eventually, if I wanted to, like if this was like my job and I didn't have to go to a job, y'all only imagine how many videos y'all be getting every day. Y'all be getting like a video, two, three videos every day if I didn't have a job. I'll be interviewed, be trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'll be getting interviewed everywhere. But my time is so limited that I barely got time to do this. Right now, I just got a little bit of energy, but I'm gonna go to sleep after this because it's back to work. You know what I'm talking about? But hopefully, I touched on enough in this video, and I hope y'all stay blessed and positive and stay up out them lower planes. So that means you gotta stay up out that lower mind. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Don't go into that limbo. You don't want to be out there with the snakes and the wolves. Nah, y'all stay good, man. It's your boy Fourth Eye, and I'm mad.